Okay, g'day Chic.
G'day.
So, you are the owner of the Camera Museum in Mecca,
Yes, that's right. I've been here 29 years now.
and you are also an expert on biodiesel.
Yeah, I've been using bio for years, or up until about maybe 10 years ago. But yeah, I've been making bio and using it. It's great stuff.
So, what is your opinion on biodiesel?
Best thing since sliced bread. The unfortunate thing is it can't be used on a more modern computer-controlled injection diesel because it will affect the seals in the injector pump. But the older diesels, normally aspirated diesels, no problems at all. I think it was about 1995, I think it was. Anything younger than that, you had to replace the seals, but anything after 95, the seals, you could use the bio and it wouldn't affect the seals in your injector pump, and it's great. It cleans your whole fuel system as you drive, cleans any gunk out of your tank. First time you use it, you might have to replace your fuel filter a couple of times and it'll block up, and it's clearing out all the gunk out of your tank and the lacquer out of your fuel lines and all that. After that, it's just perfect.
Oh,
Good stuff.
And what do you think about my trip on biodiesel or homemade fuel across the country?
Go for it. I did it myself with my bio that I made. I left here with my Rodeo. I put a trailer on the back with a big tank on it, and I put 500 litres of bio in the tank. And I drove from here all the way across the Nullarbor to my sister's place in Bendigo, or near Bendigo. Left the trailer there, made sure my tank was full, and drove down went down to Melbourne, crossed on the ferry to Tasmania, and drove halfway around Tasmania before I had to fill up with commercial fuel. But when I got to my sister's place, I still had 100 litres of bio still left in the tank.
I got to Ballarat,
Yeah.
and then back to Adelaide. I would have had enough to go to Canberra if the clutch master didn't decide to die.
Plough, yeah.
Not like the little valve in the clutch line, I forget the name of it now. Okay, so what do you think the future holds for biodiesel and other alternative fuels?
The way things are going at the moment, it's a bit difficult because as I said before, the more modern diesel, you can't use it because it affects the seals in the pump. If you can get around that problem, bio has a part to play. But that is the biggest problem at the moment, because when you do your pump, it's something like about $3,000 worth to have the pump replaced.
Yeah, well, if you could get like the seals that were like polyurethane or something.
Yeah, if they brought in seals that would take the oil and the methanol that's in the fuel, that'd be great. More people would be doing it.
Okay. What is your... Sorry, got to cut that bell out.
Don't we?
What is the long-term advantage / disadvantages of biodiesel on a motor? The mechanical injector motor.
No disadvantages. All the advantages are on the plus side. It has a higher lubricity than standard diesel, so you don't get as much engine wear. There's less carbon emitted. In fact, there's no carbon ash in exhaust, so no carbon build-up in your oil. They say you can extend the oil change periods by a factor of 3. I didn't. I always did my oil changes and filter changes about every 10,000 k's. But when you're using it, you take draining the oil out, it almost looks like it's new oil. It's as clean as anything.
Mine doesn't.
No, yours won't, the way you're doing it. But any way you do it, as long as it works. But no, there's it's all positive. I don't know of any. The only negative I found was in having to change little rubber couplings, a coupling between your fuel tank and the fuel line, and between the fuel line and your filter to your injector pump. There's always little rubber couplings. You've got to replace those with plastic because the fuel will affect the rubber. That's why it upsets the seals in the tank and the injector pump. But after a couple of, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month, the plastic couplings you fit, they look wet. They are. The molecular structures of the bio is so fine, it will actually migrate through the plastic. And being wet, dust sticks to it, and you touch them, they're black gilly muck. So every couple of weeks you just got to get under there and wipe all the couplings to make sure they're clean.
Okay. And can you, I'll explain the way I make it, because the way Chic makes this, he makes a much better version of biodiesel than I make. I make basically filtered chip oil mixed in with diesel. And it works.
It works.
But Chic has taken it to the next level of biodiesel manufacture. So, can you explain the way you make yours and how it's different to my fuel?
Well, basically what you're doing is pseudo-bio. It's not a true biodiesel. Any diesel motor will run on any form of light oil. In fact, the diesel was originally shown by Rudolf Diesel to the French Navy. They had it actually running on peanut oil. So if you can get any oil fine enough to go through your injectors, it'll run. The diesel that we use today, commercial diesel, is basically just a side product of making petrol. It is a very light oil. Now with what you're doing, you're basically thinning the oil down by mixing it with a bit of commercial diesel, keeping it thin enough to go through your injectors. Now in cold weather, it won't work because the glycerine in the vegetable oil will start to go thick. And it doesn't matter what you do, it's going to block up your filters and it's going to block up your injectors. The system I used was we stripped the glycerine out of the vegetable oil totally, so that there's no heavy glycerine left. What we're after is what we call the light oils or the esters. And then in cold weather you have no problem. We used it down to, I think it was about -10 degrees, and it still didn't gel.
That's really good. You could use it in a place like Canada or something.
Use it anywhere you like.
Alright, so Chic has made a movie about biodiesel, how to make it yourself. So if you want to learn how to make this much better quality biodiesel than I make, probably best way would be come down here and ask for the DVD. Or...
Well, yeah, I'm going to start making the DVD again. I used to make them and sell them all over the place before, but I've still got the master and I can still make a few more copies if necessary. But I don't do just the biodiesel, and when you see the little movie that I made, I do another process called water washing.
Can you tell us all about this?
Yeah, well, when you make your biodiesel and you strip all your glycerine out, you've still got some caustic. You use caustic to actually cause the glycerine to be taken out of the oil. You've still got a little bit of that left in your fuel, plus traces of methanol. Now, the methanol is no problem, but the caustic can be. So I do a thing called a water wash, where you wash all that gunk out with a very, very fine spray of water, and you finish up with a beautiful clean fuel with no caustic in it at all.
Okay.
It's an extra process to go through, but it makes your fuel a lot better.
Makes it a lot cleaner.
A lot cleaner, yeah, burns a lot cleaner. At one stage I had some feral cats that got a pregnant feral cat got into my shed and had about half a dozen little babies. Quite nice little cats, but of course being feral cats nobody wanted them. Thought, how am I going to euthanize them? So I thought, okay, I'll put them in a bag and I'll hang the bag on the exhaust pipe of the vehicle I had and gas them with the carbon monoxide in the exhaust. Did that, come back about 2 hours later, turned the engine off, undid the part of the bag, and the kittens are still in there, lovely and warm. There's no carbon monoxide in the fuel from your biodiesel. It's safer to handle than table salt and less toxic than sugar. And the little kittens were perfectly healthy.
But the main ingredient of the biodiesel is chip oil. which you fry your food.
You fry
and
your food in, so you don't want toxic elements in it.
No, I know, like, because my biodiesel is a lot more safer to make than yours, because I don't use any toxic chemicals. The most toxic chemical I use is diesel.
That's
so
still toxic.
it is still toxic, but not like caustic acid. So, yeah, like I've spilt it on myself heaps, and
Yeah, no, don't worry. I mean, with my system, the caustic is dangerous, yes, you know. And of course, when you're mixing it with methanol, you're making, meth hydroxide. And that is dangerous because if you spill some on your skin, the methanol will take the caustic through your skin and the caustic will start eating you from the inside out. So that's a bit dangerous, but as long as you're careful, it's quite safe.
Just got to use your head about it, eh?
Yeah. Do the steps correctly and don't try and cut corners. Because if you try and cut corners, that's when you'll make a mistake.
Alright. So that's probably all I've got. Is there anything you want to add on to this?
No, but anyone's welcome to come down and talk to me about the biodiesel. I'm quite happy.
Alright, so yeah, if anyone ever wants to talk to Chic, come down to the Camera Museum, the world's biggest camera on Meckering on Great Eastern Highway. It's just out of Northam. And yeah, they've got a big camera museum, including one there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, alright. Cheers, Chic.
No worries.